The answer to why you keep procrastinating might be hidden in a single drop of water. But to understand that, we first need to understand one simple difference. The difference between motivation and discipline. Maybe you've always believed that to be disciplined, you have to stay motivated. You don't. Motivation is a spark. It's what gets you started. It makes you believe that this time will be different. A new workout, a new habit, a fresh start. Then that feeling fades, and that's the moment when most people believe they've failed. But if motivation is so fragile, why do we keep relying on it? To answer that, we first need to understand how the brain works. Your brain wasn't designed to make you disciplined. It has one job: to keep you alive. And to do that, it constantly looks for ways to save energy. That's why procrastination feels so natural. But here's something interesting. Water always chooses the path of least resistance. Yet, no one would ever call water lazy. Bruce Lee once said, "Be water, my friend." A quote almost everyone knows, but almost no one has ever stopped to ask, why? Why does water almost always choose the easiest path? Not because it's lazy, but because it doesn't waste energy where it doesn't matter. Discipline works the same way. It doesn't mean making every day harder. It means learning to use your energy only where it truly makes a difference. There's an old story that captures this perfectly. A student once asked his master, "How long will it take me to reach my goals?" The master replied, 10 years. Surprised, the student asked, "What if I train twice as hard?" The master smiled, 20. He wasn't saying that working harder is wrong. He was saying that the moment you become obsessed with the destination, you stop building the process. Discipline isn't built on extraordinary days. It's built on the days when it feels like nothing is happening, when nobody is watching, when you don't feel like doing it, when the progress is so small, it feels invisible, and yet, you do it anyway. Every single action seems too small to make a difference, and that's exactly why most people underestimate it. Your brain doesn't change because of a single day. It changes because of what you repeat every day. That's how a single drop eventually carves through solid rock. At this point, you might be wondering, so, how do I stop procrastinating? Most people try to fix their entire life all at once. And that's exactly the problem. Because when your brain looks at a mountain, it doesn't see an opportunity. It sees an overwhelming amount of effort. And when it senses that, it automatically switches into defense mode. It starts delaying, looking for distractions, trying to conserve energy, not because you're lazy, because that's exactly how it was designed to protect you. That's why you don't need to convince your brain to climb the entire mountain. You only need to show it the next step. Grab a piece of paper. Write down just one step, the smallest one you can take in the next 5 minutes. Then go do it. If you want to start running, don't think about 5 kilometers. Don't think about the body you want. Just put your shoes on. The moment you complete that small step, something interesting happens. Your brain realizes that action wasn't a threat. The next time, it will resist a little less. And the time after that, even less. That's how new habits are built. Not through a burst of motivation, but through hundreds of small signals repeated over time. Every time you take action, even when you don't feel like it, you're teaching your brain something new. That this path is safe, that it can walk it again and again. Until one day, what you call discipline today simply becomes the most natural path to follow. Remember the drop from the beginning? By itself, it could never have carved through the rock, but it was never just one. There were thousands, one after another, without ever stopping. Discipline works exactly the same way. Every small step, every choice you make when it would have been easier to give up. By itself, it seems to change nothing. But over time, those small choices can take you farther than you ever imagined. If this video changed the way you see discipline, subscribe to Forge. The journey has only just begun.